Hello, God bless you. Thank you for watching. This is part three in the the last video in the series on Psalms 18. Going to be skipping over a few verses, but there's some key things that I want you to look at and to take note of. Um, we're going to get right into it. I think we left off at verse 11, and it says here, "He made darkness his secret place, his pavilion around about him." There's several verses that talk about the pavilion, and it's the protection. It's going to be kind of like the Isaiah 26:20 verse. "For in the time of trouble he shall hide me in his pavilion. In the secret of his tabernacle he shall hide me. He shall set me up upon a rock." All these things go back to that Isaiah 26:20. "Enter into thy chambers, and his presence is going to hide us. His presence is going to keep us safe in this time of trouble that's going to come upon the earth." We go here and it says pretty much the same thing. "Thou shalt hide me in thy secret, in the secret of thy presence from the pride of man. Thou shalt keep them secretly," excuse me, "in a pavilion from the strife of tongues." Once again, it talks about the presence and it talks about his protection. And that's what we need to be aware of. This is just another verse. It talks about Nebuchadnezzar. And it says, "The king of Babylon, my servant, I will set his throne upon these stones that I have hid, and he shall spread his royal pavilion over them." These stones, interesting study. If you go to Revelation, I did a quick study on all the things promised in Revelation, the churches chapters, as I call them, where it talks about the different churches. And if you take notes on that, there's a lot of different things that if you are overcomer, one of them is you'll get a white stone. You get a new name. You get power over the nations, rulership, the morning star. You get a walk in white, confessed before God and his angels, the key of David. So all these different things. And I just thought this might be in reference to the white stone in those chapters. So we go back. I found this one right here very interesting, that he gave his voice. There's a lot of references on a great shout. And if we go to Hebrews 12:26, "Whose voice then shook the earth, but now he hath promised, saying, Yet once more I shake not only the earth, but also heaven." All right, so he's going to descend with a shout. He's going to, the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, and with the voice of the archangel. That's going to be Michael. "And the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first." This goes back to Daniel 12 that we talked about earlier. In Joshua 6, just before the tumbling of the walls coming down, "So the people shouted when the priest blew the trumpets. And it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet and the great shout." All right, it goes back to that same tie-in. If you study Joshua, you study Revelation. If you study Exodus, you also study Revelation. This all, and now you look back, and I remember as a kid thinking, well, why'd they have to march around the city 7 times? What purpose was that? This whole purpose, folks, is so that God could paint a picture for us of these last days of how things are going to happen. And isn't it amazing? We go to Revelation 8, and we have that same silence. Just as Joshua commanded, there was silence before the great shout. And he said, not anyone to say a word. And then we have the silence, and then we have the censer coming down, the incense of censer, which is all the prayers of the saints coming to the earth. And then it kind of follows. We have the lightnings, thunderings, and then we have the hail and fire mixed with blood. And that kind of gets into the next verse here. And this is just another verse here about the mighty roar. "The Lord shall roar from on high, and his utter voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout." And it's just another reference to these shouts that's happening. And of course here we have the hailstones, which we just saw in Revelation 8. Hailstones, coals of fire. We can get into the lightnings and the arrows, what we think those might be. Some people think these are the falling rocks. Some people think they're missiles, nuclear war. That's I didn't really get into that portion of this, but anyway, I just wanted to paint the picture of the highest gave his voice. This all draws everything together. So we go on, and it talks about He delivered us from our strong enemy. Well, who is our enemy? Um, it it's not flesh and blood. All right, we know that through Ephesians, that our enemy is uh, principalities, powers, rulers in dark places. So this strong enemy, I believe, is Satan here. And it says they could be the angels, the fallen angels. Some might think this is the government, this is the people that want us killed, all these different things, but just something to think about. Maybe it means both. I've seen verses that mean multiple things. For example, the churches in Revelation weren't churches just then, they're churches now. Days of Noah is another good verse. People think it's just about sin. It's not about sin, it's also about DNA manipulation going back to Genesis 6. But anyway, just something that you can think about there. I thought this was really interesting. When I read this, this really stuck out to me. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. I was really wondering what this large place would mean, because we're in this pavilion and we're in this rock. How could this play a role? Large place doesn't seem to make sense. Well, I did a quick study on it in Strong's Concordance, and this is the word right here, and it comes down. It said broad, roomy place right here, but if you read on, this is really neat. Freedom from distress and anxiety. Isn't that wonderful? So the Lord is going to give us freedom from distress and anxiety during this time, and that just really was wonderful. And as I understand it, in my dreams that I've had, I'm always in a I'm not, but there's always a chaotic state. I remember nuclear war. I remember soldiers. I remember I had a dream of Nazi America. I mean, but in all of them, I had no fear. I had no anxiety. I was not worried. In fact, I was in one dream and an earthquake happened next to my car, and I had gotten out of my car, just kind of like shut the door, got out, and my car just fell right into this giant earthquake. And I just walked off, and soldiers were running by me, you know. So this is that freedom I felt in that dream of just feeling so wonderful. I had no sense of time. I had no sense of urgency. It was complete freedom in a chaotic world. And if we go back to her Bond's blog, we'll be protected by the blood of the Lamb, by Jesus Christ. And then it says, where did it say here? Right here. I will send her out to bring in the last of the harvest. She will minister in my strength and power and be totally protected no matter where she goes. That's that feeling I had of just, I had no fear whatsoever. It was actually a really wonderful feeling, even though the world was just horrible. And then until the last harvest is brought home. So I think that's that peace that he is giving us at that point, and that's that large place, because he delighted me and delighted in me, that we will have that peace. It says here, the Lord rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanliness of my hands. This is the bride. All right, the bride is righteousness. Just as the first thing the Lord told me when I came to Him 3 years ago, was you haven't walked in righteousness. You have not walked in righteousness. If you walk with me in righteousness, I will show you many wonderful things. That's what He told me, and I really didn't know what righteousness even was at that time. And it's walking without sin. It's trying to be obedient to God, having fear of God, and wanting to please Him in everything you do. And that's what it is, the cleanliness of our hands and our righteousness. And if we go to just right down the road here in Psalms 19, 8 through 4, it says right here, I'm going to pull up my book here because I have it highlighted a little bit better. It says, "The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing in the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever." And then the judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired, more to be desired they are than gold, yea, much fine gold. But right here is where it gets interesting. It says, "Moreover, by them is thy servant warned, and keeping them there is great reward." This is the reward that's coming with Christ. "Who can understand his errors?" All right, and it goes on down here to verse 14. "Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight." And that's what we are to be. All right, and this is talking about the statutes of the Lord, His commandments, His trying to abide in Him. If we go to 24:4, it says here, "Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Who shall stand in His holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, and has not lifted up his soul into vanity, or nor sworn deceitfully." All right, this is the bride of Christ. And this talks about Jesus and his reward. "And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his work shall be." All right, so he rewards us because of our clean hands and our pure heart, and for we have kept the ways of the Lord, and not gone wickedly, departing from him, backsliding or lost. All right, that is departing from him. Okay, his judgments were before me. In other words, all the judgments are happening before this author, and I did not put away his statutes from me. So, keeping his ways. And we go, "And the Lord will recompense me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanliness of my hands in his eyesight." And that's what we're striving for, all of us. Proverbs 8:20 says, "I lead the way in righteousness in the midst of the paths of judgment, that I may cause those that love me to inherit substance, and I will fill the treasures." It says the exact same thing about the gold and the silver as it did in chapter 19. "That thou may walkest in the way of good men, and keep the paths of righteousness." Like I said, I was not following Christ. I was not walking in righteousness. And when he told me that, it was a realization of I needed to change my ways. And if you look at my testimony on my page, you'll understand what I was going through. And now I understand that walking in righteousness is willful sin. You can't willfully sin and serve the Lord. And this is where it gets great, guys. This is the wonderful verse right here out of the whole chapter, I think. "For thou wilt light my candle. The Lord my God will enlighten my darkness." This is the transformation. This is the Lord changing us. And if we look at a couple verses about lighting the candle and the candle itself. All right, if we go to Joel 2:16, "Gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, and gather children and those that suck the breast. Let the bridegroom come forth out of his chamber, and the bride out of her closet." The closet is our hiding place. All right, this is the bride and the bridegroom. Now, in some of my dreams, in two of them, I did see Jesus. Some very strange circumstances, but I did see him. And he is going to be here, just as the Lord will descend with a shout. He is coming here to open the door for us to go out. But we have a mission to do prior to that. And this is where we go out, and we will be the lights in this world. Here's just another reference to the candle with Job. "And his candle shined upon my head when I his candle shined upon my head, and when by his light I walked through darkness." Talking about the path that the candle is the Spirit. When God shines upon you, this will enlighten through the darkness and allow you to go through. Right here, "The spirit of the man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. For there should be no reward to the evil man, the candle of the wicked shall be put out." "Moreover, I will take from them the voice of the mirth and the voice of gladness and the voice of the bridegroom." Take away the voice and the voice of the bride. Right here. um, the sound of millstones, the hail, and the light of the candle. Um, and this is just talking about Babylon. 1823 has a very unique verse. This is about the destruction of Babylon. And the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom, this is the Holy Spirit, I believe, the voice of the bridegroom and the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. This is them leaving. This is us leaving the earth. This is right before the wrath will fall on the earth, which I believe that are the vials. This is, like I said, what I believe the transformation. If we go to Daniel 12 again and look one more time at that verse. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness. That will be the commission of the bride, as the stars forever and ever. And this is Daniel 2:44. And in the days of these kings, this is talking about, I'll let you do the study on that, but there's a video on it that talks about it on my page, The Greatest Lie Unknown to Man. And in the days of these kings shall God set up in heaven a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. That is us, folks. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but shall break into pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and shall stand forever. He's talking about the evil kingdoms that have been risen up, the iron and clay, all right, the seed of men, those that mingle. The fallen angels shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to one another. There's a whole study on this that I did, 3 parts. But anyway, and it's called The Greatest Lie Unknown to Man. But anyway, this bride right here, this is the bride's kingdom. This is the kingdom that will go out and consume all these kingdoms. It's going to destroy these kingdoms. We're going to enlighten the world on the truth that they have not heard or have not wanted to hear. Break into pieces, I believe we will all be brought together, possibly some people think on an ark type of place, and then go out, break into pieces, just as the disciples were brought together. Then they broke into pieces and left and went out and shared the gospel. I believe that's possibly an option of what's going to happen. Noah, the name Noah means 2 things. It has a feminine and a male version of the name. Rest and comfort is the male. The female is staggering and tossing to and fro. So it's kind of like opposites. And I believe that there is a place of rest. I'd have to get into that, but there is evidence of it in the Bible about those sleeping in their beds and stuff. But anyway, I believe this is a possibility. We can all be brought together and then break into pieces and then go out and consume all the kingdoms. It talks about here, for us so much as thou sawest the stone cut out of the mountain without hands. I believe this is the 9/11 star falling. But anyway, just something I wanted to show you. And just another quick note, so she'll minister in my strength and power and be totally protected no matter where she goes. This will be for a period of time until the last harvest is brought home. Just as he said, he will set up that kingdom. My bride will then ascend to me with her rightful place in her heavenly home. So anyway, it just continues to confirm what is said in this prophecy. But anyway, let's go back to our Psalms 18, and we're going to get into the final stuff, which is the neat stuff. If we go down, we just talked about lighting the candle. Interesting enough, as soon as the candle is lit, you have these abilities. And these abilities, I believe, are the gifts. I have run through a troop. I did a study on this. This is running through soldiers, essentially. It's exactly what it's saying. Like a formation of soldiers. So, kind of like me in my dream, when I saw all these soldiers passing by me and not seeing me, this is what I think it goes back to. I have run through a troop. I have leaped over a wall. God is going to grant us these gifts of supernatural ability because we're going to need something to help us get around and to help us share this word in different places. Um, you know what our enemy is. Our enemy is not flesh and blood. Our enemy is principalities, powers, and rulers of darkness in high places. So I think we're going to need these abilities to help carry out this mission. And this is what God has done. He's enlightened our darkness and lit our candle. He's girded us with strength. He's made our way perfect. Nothing is going to happen to us. Remember, it says in the prophecy, she'll be totally protected no matter where she goes. I thought this was a really neat one. He maketh my feet like hinds' feet. This is deer. So we're going to be fast. So all our legs and everything will have strength. We'll be able to move quickly. Setteth me up on high places, possibly flight. Teacheth my hands to war. Another ability on combating these spirits. This one I wasn't sure of, but I thought it was very interesting. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation. When it talks about the armor in the Bible, it talks about it as a shield of faith, but now we have a shield of salvation. So how's that different? I think now that we have a shield of faith, is this kind of like a shield of actual presence? I'm not sure, but I thought that was very interesting how that's worded, because it always talks about the shield of faith. And this is the first and I think only place it talks about a shield of salvation. Thy right hand holdeth me up, thy gentleness has made me great. Enlarged my steps. I did a little study on this, and I believe this will be able to move through walls, through buildings, all these different things. These different abilities. It's the same body as Christ had when he was transformed. And it's David's way of describing how the Lord helped him, and this is mirrors exactly what the bride will have. So enlarge my step could be walking through buildings, through walls, but I thought that was also very interesting. Our feet did not slip. I've pursued my enemies and overtaken them. Once again, our enemies, we know who they are. Girded me with strength into battle. So we're going to be going into battle with these things. Subdued me under those that rose up against me. They cried, but there was none to save them. So, just amazing little abilities that we see here that the Lord will give us for this time period. And then as I did this study, I urge you to look in Revelation and write down all the gifts that are given and then do a study on each one. I don't know what they all mean. I know there's the stone, the white stone. There's the keys of David, which could be, I have no idea. But anyway, I welcome any comments and any ideas. We're on this together and working as a team. So, but this is what the Lord has shown me. And as I read this, it really, really jumped out at me. So I just wanted to share it with you. I like this because I'm a runner and I'm not very fast. So it's going to be nice to be fast. Anyway, God bless you guys. I hope this touches your life. Please feel free to comment if you have questions or concerns or things. But I hope this speaks to you. If you have any ideas on this, please let me know. But anyway, God bless you. Thank you for watching. Please share it if you feel led to. Bye.